Hey guys, welcome into our Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage Studios.
He's wound up.
He is finally back. You know, like last week he was running a little low on energy, coming back from vacation. Now he's
still
like
sluggish.
The kid is back.
Yeah. You are fired up. We have a great interview with volleyball player Delaney Dilfer coming up. Yeah. She is just great. Some great stories. She is really going to set the tone of this podcast. But first, football. Right. Can't believe.
Right around the corner, baby.
It's right around the corner.
Right around the corner, baby.
It doesn't feel like it because it's 900 degrees outside.
Well, yeah.
However, CUSA just released its preseason polls. And I don't think that we're very surprised here that Western Kentucky took the top spot. Liberty projected to finish second in the conference. Yeah. Let's react to first that, and then we'll get into some of the other CUSA awards that were given out.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like, it's a media poll, right? So 18 first-place votes went to Western Kentucky. Liberty got 4 first-place votes. But I think you're right. You talk about Western Kentucky, they bring back their starting quarterback, who led the nation in passing yards. They bring back their starting receiver, who had over 100 catches a year ago, was one of the better receivers in the country, and their leading tackler on the defensive side. They're loaded. We know what to expect with them. And for Liberty, you have like half the roster turned over. And in some ways, it's a compliment to the Flames, given that we don't know who the quarterback is at this point. Half the roster's turned over, new coaching staff in place. And it speaks to certainly the talent that still remains, but also I think Jamie Chadwell's reputation with what he's done at Coastal Carolina, that they still put Liberty in that 2 spot. It also may speak a little bit to what comes behind and the question marks that remain at a lot of other Conference USA schools as well.
Are you surprised, Joe?
No, I'm not surprised, but you know what? There's a lot of, I heard a little bit and all that stuff right there.
What's that?
Just a little bit of blah, 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 blah is what I heard right there. Here, the bottom line is this, okay? That look at the level that Liberty has been playing football at.
Sure.
Okay? So they've recruited, and a lot of talent, you're right, a lot of that talent's left, but guess what? They're replacing that talent with other good talent. Okay?
I don't disagree.
And so when you're playing against Arkansas, you're playing against Wake Forest, you're playing against Virginia Tech, Liberty's not coming where they haven't been playing at. They're playing at a high level with high-level players, and yes, you got people to replace. But I really believe that Western Kentucky game is when? It's mid-October, is that right?
Yeah,
pull up the schedule. Yeah, it's like I think it's an October game.
Yeah.
So if it goes back, it goes back to what I was saying before, and that is, I think it's going to take
October 24th.
October 24th.
Tuesday night, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Bada bang, bada boom. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying by that point in the season, right? Yeah. A lot of these questions that we have preseason, that's what we're here to do, is to try to figure out what the answers are to these questions. A lot of these questions that we have preseason are going to be clearly answered by then. And I think they'll be answered in a very favorable way because Jamie Chadwell and his staff know what they're doing. It's just a matter of putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And you know my favorite part about these roster turnover, coaches turnover, my favorite part, I'll say, is there are guys that we don't even know their names right now.
And I think that there's some guys on this team that even the current players don't know.
That they're going to show up, and by the time October, we'll be talking about guys that we haven't talked about yet that are having great seasons, and they'll be in a position where I can't wait for that October football game against Western Kentucky. Can't wait. Yeah. Just like Bart Scott said, can't wait.
Before that football game in October, we have the Flames fantasy draft that needs to go down. So we really need to do some homework this year because I don't really know.
There's a wide range of ways that could go, given our knowledge of this roster right now. But to kind of go back to what you're saying too, part of these preseason polls, a big part of it I feel like is what do we think traditionally of your program? What do we remember last of your program?
Yeah.
And so, because so much is uncertain, especially now in the transfer portal era, if you want to call it that, so many programs have so much turnover or so many new faces coming in that year to year, I think it is harder to project what will this team be. And so you fall back on, well, Liberty last year beat Arkansas, and they beat BYU, and, Jamie Chadwell's great. So, why not? Even though we still don't know who's going to play quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it, is settling the quarterback position. Once that, and I think what's going to happen with Coach Chadwell's offense this year, which is different than Coach Freeze, is Coach Freeze sort of like he just, nobody ever really stood in. Caden Salter got hurt.
Yeah.
It's so many moving parts to the whole thing. Is that I think he's going to really Willie Corning sit down and really make a decision out of fall camp. They've talked about this about here's our clear-cut number one quarterback. Here's who we're going with. And if they can get that guy to shine, don't worry. The rest of the pieces of the puzzle fall in place. The position that I worry about from Liberty's standpoint is at linebacker. Yeah. There's some good frontline guys, but is there enough depth? You need a lot of linebackers, especially in the era of college football now where you're spread out, right? And there's so many people that fast-paced type of offenses. You got to have really good players in depth at linebacker position. So I think that even above the quarterback position will get answered.
You feel like there's enough guys there that want
and they're good players there, right? So somebody's going to step up and win that job, and I think they'll play really well. And there's other good guys if somebody was to get hurt that can step up and play really well. It's on the defensive side. I think defensive line solid. The linebacker position being a little bit thin is going to be a major question mark.
Yeah, and I mean, any type of change that you have with the coaching staff, it's not that these guys aren't bought in, because we've talked to plenty of players who they're definitely bought in. They love the energy and the culture that Chadwell's bringing to the mountain. But, you know, Chadwell's said it a million times. Coach Freeze, it's not like he's coming into a program that wasn't winning.
Yeah, it's not a rebuild job.
It is going to take a little bit of time still, I think, and hopefully this is accomplished during fall camp. But I think that there are still some wrinkles to iron out, you know, just across the board.
Learn a new system, offensively especially. Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. But, I mean, October, they'll have how many games in the bag by then?
By that time, Liberty would have played, you got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games under your belt by the time you roll in.
That's a pretty good sample size, you know, that they should be ready to go for, we'll see, the biggest game of the year.
You hope that's what it is.
Yeah.
For both, you hope that game is as important as everyone right now.
Will it be undefeated Liberty versus undefeated Western Kentucky on a Tuesday night?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. CBS Sports.
Didn't we all?
Right?
Yeah.
CBS Sports. That would be exciting to see.
I don't know. I was watching a podcast the other day about like the breakdown of the conference, and everyone is saying, Diego, your boy,
wherever you go, Diego.
New Mexico State picked 5th, by the way. All for that week 2. Liberty, New Mexico State.
That's going to be
Diego Pavia.
Diego Pavia coming back into town after, you know, if you want to go bulletin board material. Yeah. And Emily Austin's the one. Emily Austin Cudd is the one who spotted this.
Yes.
Right. Diego, get the video out and show Diego signing
That's
autographs
bulletin board.
during the game.
He's like,
Coach Chadwell, find that video.
Let me go out here and throw for another touchdown. I'll get right back to you.
I'll get right back.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of deserved it.
Yeah.
I mean, he ran all over the Flames.
In the conference.
I love that guy, though.
He is fiery. He's a
awesome.
great player.
Get ready, boys. He can play.
Yeah.
All right. Well, really excited about football. You know, fall just around the corner. Like Coach Chad Scott, if you didn't catch that podcast just a couple weeks ago, he says they're rolling pretty much right into fall camp.
I went back, the one I wasn't on, and I went back and watched this. I listened to it. That was great.
He's so great.
Joe. Great. Yeah.
But now let's, anything else? Oh, CUSA.
Quickly, Player of the Year announcements today. By the way,
right.
can I just say one thing?
Player of the Year.
They put out the preseason poll Friday afternoon.
Yeah, what is that?
That's when you put out bad news. We don't want anyone to talk about this. We'll dump it on Friday evening or afternoon. They put out Friday afternoon. That didn't make any sense to me. Okay. Today they put out the preseason Player of the Year awards. So we'll put in a call. We'll talk to them about it. I'm sure they had a reason. Austin Reed, quarterback for Western Kentucky, obviously preseason Offensive Player of the Year. Threw for 40 touchdowns last year. Western Kentucky linebacker.
40 touchdowns.
I think that's right. 4700 yards.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah. The Western Kentucky linebacker, Jaquez Evans.
I know that.
Their leading tackler, defensive player of the year.
Excuse me.
And then Smoke Harris, Louisiana Tech, special teams player of the year, return man, their leading receiver. So those are your 3 preseason player of the year awards. Get to know them.
Yeah, and the watch list for preseason, it was Xavier Gadlin, Noah Frith on offense for the Flames.
Kendi and Quentin Reese.
Yep.
And
for defense.
Nick Brown, the kicker.
Nick Brown.
Yeah, it wasn't. They didn't do first team, second team, third team, right? It was just like a watch list of players. So yeah, Liberty.
I like it.
Should be interesting. All right, for now, let's
talk a little volleyball.
Let's talk a little volleyball. Head from the gridiron to the court and check in with Delaney Dilfer in our interview with her. You know, each and every week, I really sit there and wonder, how do we still get guests on this podcast? I really,
There's no repeat
it's
guests.
beyond
Anyone
me.
notice that? We don't have any repeat guests?
This is very
Bring 'em
true.
in, chew them up, send them back
Yeah.
out. See who's got. We're looking for toughness.
That's right.
Let's see who's got a little toughness here.
Well, we found it, and our
Yeah,
guest
mental
today,
toughness.
Yeah,
and our
it's
guest
about
today,
mental
Ralph.
I
toughness.
will already come back. You don't
That's
even.
it.
Look at that. Well,
I don't know if that was smart on your part to commit to that.
let's give it a few
Yeah.
minutes and
Yeah.
then see if that's still what you think. Delaney Dilfer, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
Lady Flame volleyball player, captain, senior. The list goes on and on. Welcome to the Flame
you.
Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage. Bam. Yeah,
You'll get to say that here soon.
there's a lot to get to.
You'll make
First
a
and,
montage. One day.
Yeah.
first and foremost, how's your summer going?
It's been great. I got to go home to Nashville, be with my family, which was awesome. I worked a little bit at FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and then been back here the last couple of weeks. So it's a fast one, but good for sure.
Yeah, it seems like the summers get shorter and shorter for the
As you
student
grow up.
athlete, right?
For you guys
Totally.
especially, you guys are like soon. You're
Yeah.
playing. I think it's like a month from tomorrow is your first regular season game, so it's coming up quick. Does it feel like the clock's ticking? Like you kind of have the itch now to like, all right, let's ramp this thing up a little bit?
Totally. After spring, you kind of are like, okay, I really need this break. You know it's going to be good for you. But when you see your schedule come out, it's like, oh, there's just that itch that you're so excited to scratch. So now that we're back in captain-led practices, we are ready to go. And I think everyone's just wanting to play 6-on-6. Like, no one wants to do drills.
Yeah.
We're just ready to play games.
And you're doubly excited because
Doubly.
doubly excited
That's
because
interesting.
tell the folks where you're taking your trips to this
Ooh,
year. There's going to be
yes.
a lot of jealousy out there on Flame
Yeah,
Central
a lot of,
podcast when they
miles.
hear
I
this.
know.
Tell them.
So we're starting it off. We've got like one tournament, I think, before, but our second or third tournament, we're going to Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Hard
You know,
trip.
you gotta get your little
Hard trip.
grass. What's it called? Hula skirt.
Skirt.
Yeah.
It's a skirt.
We'll see if they let us go to the beach at all if we're just
come
gonna
on.
be in
Stop
the
it,
gym.
Trevor right now.
Yeah,
it,
let's
Trevor.
We'll get this
go.
figured out.
No, he's
Yeah.
actually really good at that.
Like-
so
like
we'll
that,
definitely
Trevor. Yeah.
we'll
You guys
be
are
able
gonna
to
be
visit.
surfing the waves. I can already.
What
let
are
me
your
come on the
surfing
trip.
skills like?
Surfing. Oof. Okay, I went to Hawaii when I was little.
Okay.
And my parents like to remind me of this story. They think that I purposely cried just so I could hold the instructor's hand because it was, you know, a
yeah.
Hawaiian boy.
hottie.
And I was young. You know?
Oh,
So
yeah.
early on,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
scared, and then
The
I've only
old
done
cry,
it
hold
one
hand
time
technique.
since then. So
Yeah, and then you
they're
watch
not
him
good.
climb, you know, a
But
palm
wait,
tree
can-
to give you a coconut.
Yeah.
You know, I
Can
can.
you get up on the board? Actually, get
I
up
mean,
on
I
When-
have.
you have gotten up
before,
on a
but I
surfboard
was
before.
little. I have not
when
in
you
a
like said
long
little,
time.
how old were you? Like 6 or 7, or
Well,
like
I used
10
to
or
live in
12?
California and near Santa Cruz, which that was my dad grew
okay.
up.
Yeah,
He surfed, but I don't even know if I ever went surfing in Santa Cruz. It was only in Hawaii, and I was probably 8.
Oh, okay.
So
They
yeah.
say it's super tough.
It is very.
Have you ever tried?
difficult.
To get up on the board?
Yeah.
They call me Moondog
Get
Joey.
out of here. Get out of here. I should
call
have
me
known you.
Moondog
Yeah.
Joey. Are you
Whatever.
kidding
Okay,
me?
Okay.
let's get back
Big
to the
kahuna,
core.
baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big
Just
kahuna.
call me the big
Um,
kahuna.
So, how does the captains work on the volleyball team? Is it player chosen or coach, or how does that work?
So
you guys
I
voted?
transferred in the spring of my junior year, and Julia, who's awesome, Mangum, she's the other captain. She was already captain. I think that was coach chosen, but I'm actually not for sure on that because that was before my time. And then I was here for one semester that spring, and Julia was the only captain. And then at the end of the semester, the coaches called me in and said that at the end of the year meetings, they had asked some of the girls, like, hey, if we choose another captain, who would you want? And that the consensus was me, and then that they had the final say. So
Woo, let's go.
I don't know exactly how that worked out, but somehow, some way.
Well, we talked to this past week. We had a bunch of the freshman athletes in for media training, and freshman volleyball player. She referred to you as the like mother.
Yeah,
Of the
you're the
program.
mom.
You're like
you
the
know, I
team
really don't
mom.
know how I'd get through it. You know, you
Yeah.
get like a little homesick your
Yeah.
first semester, but they said, but Mama Dilfer.
Oh, Mama
Yeah.
Dilfer. She's so special. So special.
It's funny because normally on all my teams, I get called the dad, not the mom.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little bit of the harder one.
So you bring the
Julia's
hammer.
nice.
Okay, good.
Look,
Yeah,
I
there you
like
go.
that.
So
Yeah.
mom, that's sweet.
Yeah. Well, it's
first
early.
time.
Well, the
It's
season
early.
hasn't started.
True.
Yeah.
That was a freshman
Give it time.
speaking. So.
Give it time.
Wait, so you never played in the Vines? You've only played in the new arena,
Yeah,
right?
just the new arena. I know. I've gone
Like that.
spoiled.
You're very spoiled.
For sure.
I'm joking.
You guys, so first off, we should mention what ASUN Setter of the Year last season.
Set me, set me, set me.
You come in.
Set me.
Okay, that's.
I love saying
Come
that
on
when I
in,
play
I'll
volleyball.
Is that, I imagine
When
you
I
do
play
say that a lot.
volleyball, it's really,
Yeah,
really
you like being
annoying.
on the outside.
I'd be outside and
you
that's
just
the
want to use your
volleyball.
athleticism.
You got to start out low.
Yeah.
You start like, set me, set me, set me.
Yeah.
Set me, set me. That's how I do it.
I'm so
How
sorry,
solid is
Delaney.
that?
Yeah.
I'm
How solid
so
is that?
Hey, I normally
Yeah.
set my hitters that yell for it the loudest.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
See?
you'd do
Squeaky
good.
wheel
Gets
theory,
the
right?
grease,
Gets
yeah.
the grease, right.
Sorry about that.
Your first year coming into a program to have that kind of success, did you think it would come as quickly as it did for you?
Oh, that's a good question. No, my parents have always said to not be thinking of the awards or the trophies whenever I'm playing. Just play, get better, and focus on the team. And so I think that stuff just ends up coming along the way. But that was total team effort. I mean, as a setter, it's kind of nice because you can never take credit because you're just assisting the hitters. I had a full load of awesome hitters who put the ball away, and it made me look good. So that was just, team effort for sure.
Now, for people that don't know, and if you don't, you're like living under a rock. But Trent Dilfer, your dad,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Longtime NFL quarterback, Super Bowl winner, now head coach at UAB. So do you get the question a lot? Is it like quarterback? Like, do you have to have like a quarterback mentality? Are you the quarterback of the volleyball team? Is there any correlation, or do people just ask you that because of who your dad is?
Because it's Matt Warner's question, and
I'm curious. Well, in some ways, you think of it like quarterbacks, you're trying to get it to the playmakers, right? Get to the playmakers
Dealing
in
and
space,
wheeling.
let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you're doing as well.
Yeah, no, I honestly think it's a really good correlation. My dad's been saying that for forever because both my older sisters were setters too.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that he raised us in a quarterback mentality way. And so naturally we gravitated towards the setting position. I'm pretty short to be a setter to run a 5-1 play front row. And so at first I was the libero because it's a shorter player. But I was like,
Shout
you
it.
know what? I want to touch the ball every single, play, and I want to be able to like really make a difference. And so I definitely think that there's some correlation there. The best part, like you just said, is you get to give the ball to whoever's making it run.
Yeah.
And we kind of get to be in charge of that, which is fun because sometimes, the setter's setting someone, you're like, why are they setting her? But as the setter, I get to choose that, and I've got a lot of options on our team. So
I feel
That's
like
cool.
I'd be really bad at that.
Decision making?
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell them all the time, I don't even go down the cereal aisle because I cannot
Yeah.
make a decision. I just pick what's on
So
the end.
many.
Like I could never. That sounds very difficult.
So, what is the art of the setting? Do you give us a little insight on that?
like
Do you
technique.
Yeah, like where to go with it, who to go
Don't
with.
give away all your secrets.
Well, I know. Are you looking at? Do you ever look at the other defense? Like you scout teams, obviously. You're scouting like where to go with, who has the best blockers, so on and so forth. Like, give us a little insight to how setting actually works from that standpoint.
There's a lot that goes into it, like any sport. First thing is you're never going to go a game where you only set one person. I mean, that's most sports are like that. But some sports, you may give it to the same wide receiver a ton of the tight end or whatever.
Look at it.
Know a little bit.
Yeah, right.
She's been raised in the
I
right
need to bring
family.
her on the football broadcast crew.
She'll analyze me any day of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, Joe? Take this
Yeah.
week off. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh man.
But with volleyball, you're playing to 25, best out of 5. So that's a lot of sets. So you get to set multiple people. So the first thing is like, I'm not going to only set, my best hitter. I got to switch it up, or else the block, they'll have 3 up on that one hitter if they know it's going there. So you kind of want to be tricky and choose when to switch things up. You obviously scout, see who their best blocker is, see who their worst blocker is, see their defense. If they really struggle digging line balls, then that might be a good idea to go to the outside. And then there's also, you run different plays. So again, like other sports, we have different sets are called different things. So the middle, the really tall one in the, the blocks. They can run a gap, they can run a push, they can run a tight, they can run a
the old
slide.
gap push and a slide. Gap push that thing with a slide. I got it.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I love it.
It's a gap push and a
I
slide.
warned you.
Did you gap push and a slide with that cross block?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay, go
so
ahead. Sorry.
real quick, I just want to let everyone know I have our guest meet at Chick-fil-A
Oh, stop
because
it.
no one knows where the studios are,
We are
aka
hidden back here.
it's called the warning walk. You know, I have to be like, hey.
She's like, there's this guy,
Joey
Joe.
is
You know what?
off
I am
the
not
Just
rails.
that
ignore
bad.
him.
Then you
Not
have
that
Matt
bad.
Warner,
Yeah.
that's and then I have no idea.
Here's a
what's
question
going
for you.
on.
Back to what you were talking
Yes,
about,
yes,
because
back
I'm
to
curious to know
volleyball.
the mentality and stuff. Because sometimes, going back to football, you'll hear where people say, well, we ran that play early on. Maybe we didn't even think it would work, but we were just setting something up later. In your position, do you sometimes go, all right, maybe I'm going to give it to this person now just to see how they react, but in reality, what I want to do is something else I'm setting up later on?
Totally. And that's, I think, mostly in college, you get to that kind of mindset. High school coaches will rarely talk about the stuff behind the scenes, but college, that's where setters, it's so fun because you learn a lot more. An example of that is in our first row that we normally run, we have the outside go-go, which is like the normal fast set. Then we have our middle, usually, hopefully the other teams aren't watching this, but they'd be able to scout it anyway. They run a 3, which is also like a fastball, and it's close to the outside, and that sets up our right side to run this fireball, which is a lot harder for them to block.
Okay.
And then if I do that, that's gonna open up, so for my next play, most likely the middle will have a better chance of running a one-on-one with the block.
Okay.
So there's
It's
little
mind
Not
stuff
the
like that.
fireball
Yeah.
you're
It's
thinking
mind
of,
games.
Joe.
Yeah.
Not that fireball.
We do this. If you ever
Oh, is that-
see me,
is that what that
I'm
is?
like, here,
Yeah.
this
Here.
is the fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
now we're getting the
Okay.
secret
That's-
Go
hand
yeah.
Flames.
That's good.
Now here's a little insight question for you. Now, you have all these, you have to keep people happy, right? So
That's
is
tough.
there some LU drama that goes on with the girls when it's like, oh, that Dilfer girl, she didn't set me enough. Like, I haven't got enough tips. Also, she shouldn't like me. And they're like, no, I really do like you. And you're like, well, I just wanted, she wasn't happy, so I had to give her some more. And then it's like, well, I'm going to hack your social media and say bad things about you.
Wait,
No, no.
this just
That just took a
escalated
far-
quickly.
That escalated a little too far.
Yeah.
I'll admit that escalated a little
Yeah.
too far. A little too quick, a little
Yeah.
too far. I understand. But it's got to be hard
You
in
work
your
with a lot of
position to
personalities.
keep
Please get a
everybody
close up on
happy.
her face. She has no idea what's going on.
This is why they call me dad normally
yeah.
instead of mom.
Yes, you do have
Because
to put,
I
I
have
get
to
it
put the
now.
hammer down.
Don't make me pull this car over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of just like, yeah. If I have to come back there.
Are we there
yeah.
yet?
Yeah, yeah.
We joke all the
Yeah.
time, and I'll say if they do something.
Do
This is
feelings get
outside the
hurt?
court
Yeah.
too. They'll do something, and I'm like, 5 less sets.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Oh, man, you control
I,
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do, and maybe it's bad, honestly. But I'll play with them a lot,
Yeah.
and then all of them will. It will be like the last point in practice, in game, whatever. They turn to me, send me the ball, send me the ball.
Yes, they
All of
want
them.
it, yes.
So it's not just one.
Man,
And
maybe
so-
I do want to be a
Yeah.
setter.
See?
Because I like being,
No, that's a
you know,
lot of
like, in
pressure.
control.
It is.
And then people get mad at
I
you.
think that's why
and you're
setters have a
sweet
certain
girl.
personality. I think that you have to have that little
You gotta be a little edgy.
edge,
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
edge.
Yeah, you gotta be a little edgy.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's talk about why you came to Liberty and
Yeah.
just your situation of transferring here.
She has a special man.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow,
she
no,
does.
no, 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 no,
Yes,
no,
she
no, no.
does.
I explained this
No.
already.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so
Set the record straight here.
Yeah,
You know, because we don't want any rumors flying.
I know. Go ahead. Set the
For
record
real.
straight.
well, I got in the portal. I just knew that where I was at before wasn't the culture that I wanted. I'd prayed about it for the 2 years that I was there and felt like the door had opened. So got in the portal, and Coach Trevor was maybe the first coach to reach out to me. One of the first. He was really fast. And I remember being like, oh, haha, Liberty, you know, like they were in our conference. Like, I'm not going to do that, you know. But I emailed him back just in case. I was like,
in
keep
case,
my
yeah.
options
Right,
open. So emailed him back and responded right away. Can we get on the phone? Can we get a call? So I was like, okay. So I think I waited a couple days before I
You
got
don't
on
want
the
to
call.
seem
you
that's
slow
that
player.
whole you don't
You
want to seem
slow
too
player.
like needy, all that kind of
Well,
thing.
I
Right.
was still taking classes. I was like overwhelmed with the emails.
Leave
and
them hanging a
so-
little bit.
I
Yeah,
was
that's
waiting.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Let 'em
once we
sweat.
got on the
Emily
phone,
did that with Jason, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah. Not for this podcast.
Yeah, keep going.
When I come back, you
Yeah.
can
Yes,
tell me.
yeah.
Oh, she's coming back. When she comes back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
So then I get on the phone, and then he was like, "Okay, when can we get you on a plane to come out here?" So it was like really, really quick on his end. So they were the first school that I visited, and I had a couple lined up afterwards to take some official visits.
Maybe
and,
Power Fives, maybe not.
I mean,
We're not going to even
secrets
talk
never
about
tell.
it.
Yeah.
And but all of it didn't matter because right when I got here, it was just exactly what I had in mind from high school. I really wanted the Christian environment. I went to a Christian school first, and I wanted to be able to study something in that. So my master's is applied ministry.
Oh, cool.
I loved the coaching staff. I loved the girls that I had met here. They had kind of just told me like how they run things and the passion behind it, and it was everything that I had in mind. And so Coach wanted me to commit on the spot, but my dad had come with me, and then he had to leave early, and I was like, I gotta talk to my parents.
Yeah.
They'll be so mad at me if I just commit on the spot.
Hey, Dad.
And but Coach was like, "Well, I'm worried. You're about to go to these other visits. Like, you got to commit now, or else I may lose you." And I'm like, "I promise. Like, it will be fine, Coach." So then get home and talk to my family, and they were all on board. So even though I didn't think I was gonna get in the portal and commit right away, I did. And then total God story.
Oh, here it comes.
Yep.
Now we get to the good
Dun,
stuff.
dun, dun.
Now we get to the
Dun,
good stuff.
dun, dun,
Go ahead. That's not a
Thankfully,
Oh.
my fiance, now
Oh,
fiance,
I told you there was a Mr. Special.
got to follow me to college after that. And
Right.
he was at Sanford in Alabama. I was at Lipscomb, so we did long distance for a year and a half. And then he actually visited Liberty back in high school. So this is one of the schools that he had looked at, but at the time they didn't have a spot for him. And prayerfully, somehow, a spot opened
how
up,
that
and
happened.
here we
God
are.
just.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
But we're not the normal Liberty couple because
What
we
What does that
We
mean?
didn't
What
meet
exactly
here.
does that mean?
Let's dig into that a little bit.
No.
What does that mean?
Not
You've never heard that
Yeah.
before?
Liberty
No,
Co-
no, what does
oh,
that
yeah.
mean?
Ring
Trust
by
me.
spring,
Yes,
Oh,
I've
you
heard
know.
that
I mean,
all
that's.
day.
I'm not a Liberty
It's the
student.
whole
That's,
deal.
that was my vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
what
was
is,
my
what's,
focus.
what's this
No, I'm
young
kidding.
man's name again?
Zach Burnett.
Oh, Zach
Yeah.
Burnett.
He's on the football team.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Very good story.
Thank you.
Very good story.
I love that. You have something, Joe?
No,
you
Matt's
got anything
well, I
else?
was just gonna
Matt's
ask
gonna
you-
something.
Looking into this season, you guys won the regular season in the ASUN last year.
Let's go.
You go into a new conference now, Conference USA.
Let's go.
You have some new faces, or at least some girls moving into bigger roles than a
Set me.
season ago. Like, give us your season outlook. Knowing new conference, new
Yep.
opponents, new faces. What are you thinking heading into this year?
Set the scene.
Set. Now you got set.
That was good.
You just set her up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really
stop.
well.
You
You just-
actually good.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, let's see. It's hard when I'm just thinking, I'm just listening to the jokes.
Yeah,
I forget the
know.
question.
This is my life.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Conference
So
USA,
Conference
new deal.
USA,
What do we
yes.
got going on?
I'm really excited about
You
the
bring
new
home the
conference.
bacon or what? What do we
Yes,
got?
that's the dream,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's what we're working towards.
Yeah.
I've been in the ASUN my whole career so far, so I'm super excited to move out of it. Last year playing Lipscomb was just very hard because that was my old school, and so just the mental stuff that comes with it and everything, it was fun, and we won both times,
Bingo.
so that helped. But
Winning.
I mean, I was dreaming about those games. So now being able to go to a new conference, whole new set of teams, I'm super excited. Western Kentucky has been ranked for the past however many years in volleyball. They're awesome.
Whatever. Get rid of them.
And they
It
come
will
here.
be fun.
They have to come here.
Yep, 2 games.
Yeah, the schedule's so in volleyball, and we're seeing this across all sports. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
different.
because the teams are spread so far, a lot of interesting schedules. For you guys, you're not playing home and away. You're just going and playing twice, or
Yeah.
they're coming to you and playing
Oh,
twice.
that's
Do you
solid.
like
yeah.
that setup?
I'm excited for it. We did that a little bit my COVID year, so freshman
Right.
year. And it was kind of fun, but coaching becomes huge because you scout,
Yeah.
you just played them, you scout that game, and then you play them again. So I think that there's going to be some teams, there's going to be a lot of teams that split, win one game,
Yeah.
lose the next game,
Right.
just from coaching and
It's like a in NBA
Scouting.
series. Who can make the best adjustments
Yeah.
game to
Exactly.
game? Because you
That's
turn around, you play it,
Exactly.
and it looks like most of them are you play at night, and then you play the next afternoon.
Yeah.
So yeah. quick
Also
turnaround.
body recovery. That
So
would be
Western
huge.
Kentucky is the
They're the big
potential
dog.
nemesis for you?
Yes, that's the
That's-
team to beat
yeah.
every year. And they used to have Rice in that conference, and they would always be in the championship. So that's the game that's circled on our calendar. But we also can't take any of the teams for granted. We've heard that a lot of them are really good, and I'm
But our
excited about
preseason
that.
rankings, it's like
I don't know if they
1,
put
2,
out
they
the
come out with
preseason poll
that.
yet. I don't think they have.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah, but you
All
can go
right.
to some new places, which will be fun. El Paso.
El
How about
Paso.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would.
El Paso
Hawaii
in
might be
November.
a-
Well, yeah, I guess after Hawaii.
we go to Texas like 4 times this year, which
Really?
we have so many girls from Texas.
That's
So it'll
cool.
be
Cool,
fun.
That'll be nice.
Mhm.
Favorite memory growing up with Dad,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hard. Oh, okay.
or maybe not favorite. One
Yeah,
that sticks out.
one
the
that
most.
sticks out. I have so many. Lake Tahoe is like our family vacation spot, so I could just think of like boat days and everything with him, cornhole tournaments and all of that. But one that was more recent was when I was in high school at Vandergrift in Austin, Texas. My dad ended up taking the high school football coaching job at Lipscomb Academy. He also followed me. I have to
Yeah,
tell
that's
everyone
right.
that too.
You're so-
'Cause I didn't
yeah,
You
follow
set the
him.
tone.
Leader.
Yeah.
What a leader.
And he had to leave before I was even done with school. So him and my mom had to do some long distance. But something that has always stood out to me is that he would fly back. He'd had Tuesday practices, would switch their practice schedule so that he could fly to Vandergrift to still watch me play high school volleyball. So that was just a sweet one that I'll always remember, just that sacrifice.
Tell us about
That's something
your
you do.
mom.
Oh, she's the
See,
best.
because it's always the dad. The dad gets all the
The mom makes
credit.
it
The
run.
Mom makes it run.
Oh,
Tell us
yeah.
a little bit about
For
your mom.
sure. She has done just an amazing job of following us all around.
How
so,
many of those Dilfers are?
Just 3 girls, three Dilfer girls.
3 Dilfer
We
girls.
lost my brother when he was 5 years old,
Oh.
so we had a boy, Trevin, and it's cool because my oldest sister now has a baby boy, Decker Trevin.
Aw,
great.
And
Oh,
so that's been awesome to have a boy in the family again. But yeah, through
Are
that,
you the youngest?
I'm the youngest. Mhm. Through obviously hard loss, you know, my mom has been so tough, but then to go and follow my dad in his career, and he was in the NFL for 14 years, so lots of different teams, and had to move and move and move. And then us 3 girls traveling. I mean, her birthday and Easter and Christmas and all the vacations we were spent playing volleyball normally. So she's just been superwoman to do all of that, but she really is just the person that makes it run, and she doesn't get enough credit for it, that's for sure, but she really is the reason why it happens. And she always jokes, she's like, you know, you girls are hard, but we've had so many dogs too, like 3 dogs at a
lots of
time. She's like,
dogs.
the dogs are harder, that's
Yeah.
my full-time job. So she's also taking care of all of that, and we're all super competitive in my family. It's funny because my team thinks I'm like type A, 8 on the Enneagram, like so competitive, and like in my family, I'm like one of the least. You know, I have
You're
to like
hey,
dumb
tone
it down.
down.
Yeah.
Nice.
And my mom has had to do that. She used to be super competitive, but now that she's
You bring
popped out
balance
us
to the
3,
whole-
she's like, yeah, I can't do that anymore.
So do the Dilfer girls have like a volleyball? You know, have you guys like formed as a team and
We
tournaments and
should.
stuff? Like you need to bring sisters out to
I
Hawaii and
know.
have like a little side tournament going on, some beach volleyball, or are
would
we
be
only
awesome.
court?
Well, we did play growing up beach,
Beach,
yeah,
yeah.
because we were in California.
Cali,
The
man.
2 oldest sisters, they played a beach tournament together, and that's probably why we have never tried to be a team.
Oh, okay.
The competition,
Yeah.
the claws came
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Mhm. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
middle sister plays professionally, so she was an
Okay.
All-American
nice.
at
Oh, wow.
Louisville and Final Four, whole thing. And so she's going to be on the new professional league, PVL, Atlanta, Georgia, that team. So it's super exciting. And then Maddie is now settled down, hasn't played volleyball in a while, and has a baby. So
Maddie's got the baby.
yeah, she's
Baby
got
life.
the baby.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever get back
Yeah,
together or not.
that's-
Can I share my favorite memory of your dad?
Of course.
No, actually,
gosh.
there's one story I remember because I would hear your dad all the time. He'd be on the Ryan Russillo podcast. I'd listen to him on there. Does a great job. Obviously, he was on ESPN. He did all that stuff. He told a story one time, and I need to go back and find this and
The
maybe you
archive.
remember this, where he pulled a prank on I think it was another quarterback.
Matt
on one of the-
Hasselbeck.
Was it on Matt? Where he died? Did he dye him? Do you know this
yes.
one?
49ers. He's the one that broke or did all the things to his leg. Why can't I think of
Alex
his name?
Smith?
Yes, Alex
Yeah,
Smith.
Smith.
I'm pretty sure that's who he did.
It was like
on.
something where did he clog I'm trying to remember if this was another one where like clogged a sink or something with like dye.
Blue dye.
Yes, and he didn't. So he reaches in to unclog it. Well, he doesn't know this. He basically has a dyed arm for like 2 weeks. Like it doesn't go. So he's out there on the practice field with a blue arm or whatever. Like great.
Okay, maybe it's an even different story, or he did it multiple times. What I remember, and this could be so wrong, so I need to call him and double check. But what I remember is they put something in the shower head that came out clear, so he had no idea.
Yeah.
His full body got blue, and he had a first date.
Yeah, this is the date thing.
The
is
date. He had a first
now.
date, and now his wife.
Yeah.
So it was with his wife, and he was completely
It's a
blue.
way better story than you and
That's
Jen.
really good.
Oh my goodness,
That's really good.
he needs to come on here and tell all the
He should.
pranks
He
sometime
should.
because there's some good ones.
That is hilarious. That is a true avatar right
that's
there.
great.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're so excited to have you here on the mountain. Really looking forward to
Before
this
she
season.
goes, she's got to do the drill.
Oh, what is
I'm
this?
so
Joe,
sorry.
set her up.
Flame Central Podcast, powered with some oomph in it.
Power.
There you go. That was good.
Yeah.
By Alcova Mortgage.
Alcova.
Look at this camera right here.
Mortgage right there.
It's also on the back of the mug.
Flame
If you
Central
forget
Podcast,
Alcova.
powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Okay.
Alcova.
Okay, look in here.
Yeah, look into the eyes of America.
Okay.
Tell
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Flames Central Podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Very
Bam!
good. Very
Let's
good.
go.
Good
Done.
emphasis. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. My job's
Yeah.
taken.
Yeah.
Each week, I feel like that's
they're
just...
getting better and better.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
Can't wait for
Of course.
volleyball season.
Yeah.
Safe travels when you guys are all moving all around the first few weeks.
Set me,
and-
set me,
you.
set me, set me.
Deal.
First things first, Joe, you're just such a great sport because I know that I get on you about how I warn all of our guests about how just off the rails you are, but
Not off the rails.
you are just a great, your questions
Yes.
are on.
It's you know what my favorite
Insightful.
part is? My favorite part is in real
Delaney's
time
amazing, by the way.
watching Joe learn about the person
Yes.
that's coming on. It's
Yes.
like, oh, wait.
You did that?
Wait, like you play volleyball?
Oh, let's
It's
not
like,
go
oh,
that far.
Is that
You
where
know
the
what?
white
You know what?
ball
You
goes
were-
back and
you
forth
know what?
over
Like
the
I
net?
like seeing the wheels and the pieces kind of start falling into place. That's my favorite.
You know
part.
what? You know what? That. At first, I was supporting you in your statement because there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
But then you try to tell me, oh, we play volleyball. Like I knew she played volleyball. Well
Yeah,
aware
yeah.
of that. I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Everybody's always picking on me.
Love
I've got
her.
feelings too.
Yeah,
You know,
got her
you can tell that she's just great for this
Oh,
team
man.
and such a
She took Liberty volleyball
to another level.
to another level last season. It's like, we talked about a quarterback comparison. It's like a great point guard. Like it's same thing. Like she just elevated everybody.
She's definitely setting
There's
new heights.
I think we've worn that joke.
Yeah, I
out.
think that's been the worst part of this podcast by far.
I think we've worn that one out.
Oh no! I'm gonna see if I can get on their trip to Hawaii though.
Okay.
You
That's-
should get on that
Yeah, you
trip.
should.
I
As
mean,
much as
why
you
do
travel
I
the world,
never-
as much as you travel
Oh,
the world,
stop
why
it.
not?
Yeah.
Why another Hawaii
Oh,
trip?
2-week vacation.
Oh yeah.
You're
Okay. I talked to Matt and he's a little concerned about all your
Okay, we're gonna wrap things up. That was
She
a little
changed the
bit of
topic
a
really quick.
Yeah.
longer interview, which
Yeah.
was great with Delaney. So thanks again
Yeah.
for coming on. Anything else you guys got?
What else we
Joe,
got?
you want to tell a 24-minute story? Or?
No, just stop. See, there you go. Pick
A
on me
couple of
again.
quick things. On the Flame Central TV show this week, we have a great recap on the men's soccer trip to Colombia.
mission
who
trip.
we talked last week.
Oh, Colombia.
with-
No cocaine hippos. In
No
that.
cooking hammers.
Which, by the way, it's funny. After I brought that up last week, Emily did a deep dive on it.
She did
and
do
she
deep
was
dive.
sending
She
me
sent it to me.
articles.
Yeah, she sent
was
articles.
sending she
I
was
read
all
some
in.
of those too.
Yeah.
This is how I get.
Yeah.
This is how I get.
Everyone laughed. Like, this is a real thing.
Someone has
Yeah.
got to be an investigator.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to
around
bring
here.
awareness to these things. You
She
guys just
is the
laugh it
Laura
off.
Logan of Flame
No,
Central
the
podcast.
reason I get into I just keep getting further and further, and there's cocaine sharks too.
Well,
Yeah, I heard
that was
that.
yes.
Off
that
the
was
coast of Florida, they
Yes.
are like eating.
unrelated, but yes.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
there is nothing.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Soccer
Go.
recap.
Liberty.
Also, a
Liberty.
cool out of the office video with new running back Quentin Cooley.
Oh,
He
yeah.
Cooley.
actually designs,
Cooley.
prints, creates his own T-shirts.
Yeah.
He's like has all the
Check that one out.
the like equipment and stuff. It's
Are you
something
kidding
No,
me?
it's really good. You can make you some Yacht Talk shirts.
Let's give us Yacht
Yeah,
Talk
yeah.
shirts.
So we have a cool little piece on that
JPL
as well.
shirts.
He could do JPL
You can do
shirts.
JPL. She's
But-
a JPL shirt guy.
NIL deal.
And
There you go.
NIL deal. Thanks so much for watching.
The
or
pairings for the JPL will be announced on next week's podcast.
Oh, wow. Okay. Look
You didn't
forward
know
to
that.
Another segment on this week's Flame Central show,
What is
Yacht Talk.
Oh, Yacht Talk's coming up.
Oh yeah, Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
We're doing a deep dive.
We're okay.
Deep dive.
We're doing
Thanks
a
so
deep
much
dive.
for watching and listening. We'll see you right
Powered.
back here.
Powered.
Flame Central Podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage. If you're looking to buy a home, Yacht Talk, JAUCH. Go to this guy in the Google machine. All right, we'll see you next week.